Bandwagon Radio and the On Channel, where entertainment news, current events, and much more is corresponding for the masses. Not only can you hear her, you can watch this beauty weekly on Mondays with MsMedia.
Welcome to Mondays with MsMedia. I'm your host, Celeste Mose, MsMedia. Today I'll be interviewing Trey Love, the multi-talent on his multi-talents. Let's get into the show. I'm so excited to have you. I know I said it on the post that when I met you at the Queen City Awards, shout out to the Queen City Awards 2019?
2019.
Yeah,
yes.
I was like, what a beautiful human being. I make a lot of decisions about people first based on how they look. That's how a lot of us are. And I was like, he's really stunning. He, just carried himself really well. I actually kind of remember what you had on. Some sort of like suspender situation with like really fitted but perfectly tailored pants. He was fine as hell. He looked great that night. And I was looking forward to being able to share the screen with you in some capacity. So I'm happy that full circle, you're on my platform today. So welcome.
Thank you. I am definitely happy to be here.
Yeah.
Since meeting you in 2019, I've just seen everything you've done, even through the pandemic, and it's like, wow, you're motivating for what you have done, and
Thank you.
I'm happy to be in your space.
I appreciate that. I mean, I'm sure a lot of artistic people would agree with me that staying true to your art in this time has kind of helped keep my head above water and keep me emotionally sane, so to speak.
Right.
So I appreciate those kind words.
No problem.
When did you jump into the arts?
I jumped in at a very young age.
How old were you?
I would say I was about 7.
You were 7?
About 7.
Baby Trey.
Baby Trey.
Baby Trey, okay. What did
Yes.
you do? What did you do first?
It's always this moment where I had with one of my aunts. It was that song, Next, the group Next.
Baby, no more grinding.
Yes. So I was
Yes.
about, 7,
Okay.
8 years old. Around that time, I used to dance to that song. So the family was like, hey. your
That song?
Yes.
That was my song.
So they'd be like, hey, Trey, go dance to this song. Not Trey, excuse me. Back then I was another name. But they said, go dance to this
What
song.
was your name back then?
Poopadoo.
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 Why do you call you Poopadoo?
Because that's was a child nickname.
Okay,
It was
it's cute
Poopadoo,
though.
and
But not
then-
because you were pooping.
Yeah,
Just because it was cute.
exactly.
Okay.
But they'll tell me to dance to it, and I dance to it. And then
Okay.
I told my aunt, I was like, when I grow up,
Mhm.
I'm gonna be a sexy dancer. Off of that song.
Off that song.
Off that song.
Okay.
So I read they knew I was gonna be something.
I like that. We're going to come back to that. Talk me through your childhood. How'd you grow up?
I grew up with my dad in prison.
Okay.
He went to jail when I was 5. He got out when I was 18. So, growing up with him was just basically seeing him through glass
Yeah.
for a lot of my childhood.
How often did you visit him?
My mom took me like once a month.
Okay.
He was close to us, about 30 minutes away. Then he had to get transferred to another federal prison, which was 5 hours away. So then it became maybe like twice a year.
Okay.
Pretty much around holiday time.
Got it.
She tried to keep our relationship as much as she can.
Yeah.
Also in the childhood, I mean, I kind of like not think about my childhood, to be honest with you,
Why?
because it's traumatic, and
That's fair.
it took me a lot of time to grow out of the things that happened to me as a child. Since I can remember, it's always been something that happened to
Yeah.
me.
Yeah.
So childhood was pretty much, don't want to think about it.
That's fair.
But I can talk about it now because I have grown with who I am as Trey Love now as an adult to realize that those things led me to be who I am today. And though I had to go through that, I am happy.
Some of your trauma you didn't have to go through, and some of it you probably shouldn't own.
Yeah.
So keep on to that, okay?
Okay.
Is Trey Love your legal name?
It is not.
I didn't assume as much. It's too cool. What's your legal name?
I am in the works of making that my legal name.
That's dope. So do you not want us to know if your name was like Jeffrey Jenkins or something?
I mean, I can say, it's nothing.
What did you come into the world as?
I came into the world random. My first name was Brandon Tyler McElwain.
I'm not gonna hold you up.
Mhm.
You look like a Brandon.
Oh my
I'm not even
Listen.
gonna hold you up.
I was
Like,
Brandon Tyler.
you look a little Brandon-ish.
Yes.
You could rock a
Then
Brandon.
after 1 year, because my dad was in prison,
Okay.
so my mom was like,
What's his name?
His name is Ronald Keith.
Okay.
So she didn't want to name me after him. But then after a year, she said, okay, I'll name him after you. So she went and changed my name
Okay.
to Ron Keith, which is a play on his first and middle name.
Okay.
And Ron Keith is my first tattoo that I got at the age of 12.
I really
So,
appreciate how,
yeah.
and I don't even need to dig into why your dad was incarcerated. I appreciate the level of care that your mom made to ensure that you still had a relationship with him.
Mhm.
I think if once he got free and you decided that he needed to kick rocks, that would have been a decision that you would have made.
Correct.
But it sounds like your mom really helped facilitate. To be honest, a lot of what happened in your past, a lot of those traumas are not for you to own. And so keep that in the back of your mind. Super mature of you to address it that way. But there's a difference, and I kind of hear that difference. There's a difference in being able to talk about something and really having to think about it. And even when you communicate it, know that you don't have to accept and own everything that happened to you just to get past it. Okay? I appreciate the level of, it seems like respect, you know, and I don't want to assume, I don't know anything about your family, but I'm a mom.
Mhm.
And if, you know, Connor's father were incarcerated, it would be respect, it would be love, it would be a lot of different things that would push me to want to make sure that they kept their relationship. That many times a month is really the same as, you know, the amount of time you would spend with your dad if you weren't locked up, the amount of times that she took you to see him. Is there anything that you would want to say to your mom in regards to that when she watches this episode?
I say thank you. She really tried not only with my father, but with his family as well to keep me involved. And like, she'd be like, I tried so many years, every holiday you call them or go by. And she always said, once you get 18, I'm not doing this no more. It's up to you. That's why
Wow.
I appreciate what you just said. Like, it's up to me. So she
Yeah.
gave me that option. Like, you're 18 now. If you want to call them. And I just had no type of connection with that family
Yes.
at all. And I carry their last name, and that's
Ugh,
pretty much the main reason why I'm changing my last name. 'Cause
gotcha.
I don't know who a McElwain is, and I don't want
Mhm.
to carry that on to what's going to become my legacy.
Last names are so important.
Exactly.
And I have so much respect for you for appreciating that. Bible even says your name is the most precious thing that you have.
Mhm.
So I appreciate that. What's your spiritual allocation?
I never really thought about that.
Think about it now. Do you believe in God?
Yes, I believe there's a higher something
Okay.
that's keeping me.
So you believe in a God?
Correct.
Okay, I can rock with that.
That's another thing when my mom pushed on me. So a lot of things that I've been through is like always like pushed, and it's like makes me resentful for it and not want to like be a part of it. That's how I was like, I don't want to do that. So
What
sports.
churches did you go to when you were a kid?
A Baptist.
Oh, no wonder.
A Baptist, yeah.
Duh.
But it was a lot.
Yeah.
A lot of different things. And I like connect with the word a lot.
I know you do.
I really do.
I've watched your social media enough to know that.
Yeah, so I connect with words, and I know there's something higher that created me.
Yeah.
So I'm actually on the journey to find it. Like I spend a lot of Sundays either by myself or with him over there, and we watch church and listen to the word. And one thing I appreciate is that we can actually sit there and have a conversation with each other of what we got from the word.
Yeah, yeah.
And every time is different. But I appreciate it because I learned something from the word that I did not catch
That's what it's supposed to do.
from someone else. So
You just said that you are on a journey to figure out what your spiritual allocation is. My parents, I was raised Pentecostal. My parents were ministers, pastored one of the most, I will always have so much respect for my parents, the way that they maneuvered the calling that God placed on their lives in that time. And so I grew up in the church. But I will say, and I've said it before, it wasn't until probably 2 years ago that I thought, I want a relationship with God for myself. You know, I actually think I had ran out of the blessings that God was giving me based on my parents. It was time for me to, you know, tap in and figure out what God was and who God was to me, and that's where I am.
Yeah.
So what I will say is that you're in a really beautiful space spiritually right now. You don't even know it. When your spirit is open and you're saying, whoever you are, God, show yourself to me, He's going to do that. You're in a really great space. Really great space.
Just to touch on that, like, I'm connected to spirit. I can say that.
Okay.
Spirit always steers me in the correct way. It gives me the signs I need. Even when I'm not expecting it. So the universe is pretty much is what I gravitate to.
I'm not gonna go too deep with you.
Okay.
But if you already feel like you are spiritually in tune and your spirit is already open, you know, within Christianity, and I don't want to push a religion on you, but within Christianity, the Holy Spirit is one of the Holy Trinity. So if you ever leaned towards Christianity or decided that was the particular religion for you, sounds like you've got one of the three already down. You already tapped in with somebody.
Thank you for that.
Yes, sir. What spiritual practices do you have that keep you centered? So you just said that you've been watching, you know, television has had to go, or churches had to go TV.
Correct.
Had to, recently. I was an Elevation Church parishioner for quite a while. I went to Elevation, the one in University, and even when COVID hit, every now and again I would watch Pastor Furtick. Who are you watching?
Same.
Well, listen here, let me tell you something.
Yes.
So if you're watching him now, I'm going to tell you right now, he's going to tell you if you're sinning, he's going to tell you if you're winning.
Okay.
So be ready for it, okay? He's going to keep it 100 with you.
That's right.
I know that's right. When we come back, we will see if Trey Love has a romantic interest. Basically, I'm going to get all up in this man's business when we return.
If I never have another night to live, if I never have another breath to give, if I never get to see another day, I can't allow this moment to get away. I've made a lot of tough decisions. Good intentions guided all my years, most of which left me broken. I closed my eyes to hold in the tears. As I walk the remainder of my journey, I know it's best that you're told. I've always wanted you, to love you, to see where it all goes. I might be late in my admission, but I hope my submission is clear. I'm sorry it took me so long to get past my hurt, my thoughts, my fear. Please excuse my selfishness. I apologize for my words of disruption. I know this may be a bit to take in, but I beg you pardon the interruption. You're the one that I wanted to learn. You're the one that I wanted to adore. You're the one that I wanted to admire. You're the one that I wanted to support. I wanted to be the comfort amidst the cries. I wanted to be the relax at stressful times. I wanted to be the peace that peaces your heart. Anything you need for us to not be apart. Your intelligence, your beauty, your beliefs, your time. Your everything is amazing, and I just wish it was mine.
Trey, what is your sexual orientation?
I identify as bisexual.
Bisexual, okay. So, can I tell the story about the conversation we had? Okay. I initially had reached out to Trey because I wanted him to do my dating series. I did not know that he was in a relationship. I thought he was single. And so I was going to do a dating series, which actually got bumped for the Cypher, by the way, the series. And I was going to have him come on and select individuals for him to go on a date with. I can't remember how I worded it, but he was like, so are you selecting men and women, or some kind of way he said, and I'm like, why would I? I thought you just wanted me to send some guys your way. That was actually the first time that I found out that you identify as bisexual. How long has that been?
That's been since
2009?
Correct.
Can I say on behalf of, I was having a conversation with my makeup artist, shout out to my makeup artist this morning because you see me. Having a conversation with her, and we were talking about the Download Brothers, and this is not even written on my cards.
Okay.
But because you said you have been so true to yourself for so long, I guess I want to say thank you. You're giving us a chance and you're giving us a choice. Like if you come straight out and say like, this is the vibe, I know ahead of time, you know, what decision I should or shouldn't make, or if I should make one at all, and I think we appreciate that.
Correct.
Yeah, thank you.
And I've experienced that with women as well.
Thank you.
Because I feel like it's no need to hide it. There's too much stress. I know who I am.
Yeah.
And if you accept it, it is what it is.
Do you think they're accepting of it?
I feel like they see it as a challenge.
I can see that.
Just to be honest, I mean,
I can see that.
they get to know me, they see me, and it's like, okay, well, once I get a hold of you, you won't think about the other.
Oh, no, that's
Like, of course,
ignorant now.
if I'm with you, I'm with you.
Right, but
But
I'm gonna
don't-
still think about me what I want me.
Okay, I
Yeah.
mean, just don't try to feel like you can change what I already told you I was.
Well, that's what we do as women. We try to change a period. Doesn't matter what you got going
But
on.
that's also within my gay community as well.
Really?
They feel like you're only saying you're bisexual because you don't want to accept the full fact that you're a gay male. So it's always like, ain't no girl gonna want you because you're gay. So,
I don't have any more
So,
questions
like-
written to that, but can I
Back and
ask you another question
Yes.
to that? So you just said something that gave me another question. So
Mhm.
within the, is it called the homosexual community, the queer community, like what do you title it? LGBTQ?
ABCD, yeah.
You said the ABCD, shut up.
No, respectfully LGBTQIA.
Respectfully, okay.
Yes,
Wait, you said some additional letters at the end. You said IA?
QIA plus.
QIA plus. What does that stand for?
Girl, everything.
Yeah, we'll have to talk off.
We'll have to-
Listen, I'm
Go off
not
subject.
caught up. I need to make sure that I'm caught up.
Mhm.
You said that within your community, you've had people say, okay, you're just saying that because you don't want to be honest.
Correct.
I have thought in the past that people who are bisexual, especially you as fine as you are just being greedy.
I've heard that.
Right?
All through high school, I heard
Make a
that.
choice. You're
I
being
heard-
greedy.
But
So
how,
that means,
how is that any different from a female having all these guys and she just picking and choosing who she wants? It's just that I have now more than one sex. It makes me more greedy than her.
I guess your logic suffices.
Okay.
I can accept that logic, yeah, because it's still about process of elimination, right?
Correct.
And you still get to choose who you do and don't want to interact with
Exactly.
on any scale. So I'll let you have that one.
Sexually is greedy, but hey.
Yeah, no, sexually, you're being greedy. with your
Emotionally,
cute
it's
self.
the same.
Are you dating?
I am
Who are you dating?
anonymous.
Anonymous. Is it good or has it been that toxic dating that our culture has gotten so comfortable with? Ooh, it's toxic. Let me run to it. Are you good dating right now? Is it healthy?
It's not healthy.
What?
It's not.
Okay.
But it's growing.
How long have you been dating this person?
4 years.
4 years?
Going on 4.
Going on 4. Okay. What about it do you want to change immediately? If you could walk out this door and have a different part of your relationship, a piece of your relationship instantly changed, what would that be? With respect to it, not giving us too much.
Having the same feeling I had when we first went into it.
Perhaps you should watch the episode I just shot the other night.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes it's hard to get that initial feeling back
Right.
because we're out of the love bombing phase. We're in the reality now.
Yeah.
I'm gonna talk to you off camera.
Well, it's more to that than that, but
We talk about what we want
Mhm.
and what we do and don't want in relationships, but we rarely talk about the effort that we put into them. What's the effort that you put into your relationships? And we could stay on romantic.
the effort I put is trying to give off exactly what I want. And me going through the traumas I've been through growing up, I wholeheartedly put all myself into someone and expect that they wouldn't hurt me in the same capacity that I've been hurt. And I'm trying to decipher between, is that the same level of hurt?
Yeah.
Because I just know at this point I'm hurt.
Yeah.
So once that happens, then me giving all that I can give, I can no longer give it.
Is your partner mentally and emotionally healthy? Outside of you?
I don't think so.
You guys have some healing and growing to do together, but you gotta do some individually too, right?
Exactly.
It sounds to me, and I'm nobody's therapist, I'm just an old lady who has been engaged to 2 different men. I've
Okay.
got an entire 10-year-old child, I've got some stretch marks on my belly, and a couple broken-hearted stories.
Mm-hmm.
And the best version of myself was when I did the hard work and realized that I was individually hurting. and I threw myself at the mercy of the God that I serve and the Zoloft that I take and the exercising that I do. And it took me about 1.5 years to really do the hard work and realize the contribution that I had in all my toxic relationships, and the contribution that I had was the need to be there. I had to separate myself from all of those relationships and find out my value on my own. Because no matter how much anybody loves me going forward or how much I love them, there's going to be a limit to that love because I still have some healing to do, right?
Correct.
I think that sounds a little bit like what you've got going on. And again, I'm no one's therapist, right? I didn't go to school for therapy. I went to school for communications and didn't even damn finish. Let's switch gears.
Well, I appreciate what you said, though.
I know you
appreciate
do,
it, so.
because your spirit is open. I wouldn't have said it if I thought your spirit would have rejected it.
Okay.
Yeah. I ain't Wendy Williams. I love Wendy, but I ain't about to be out here making my guests feel a certain kind of way. Okay, I would never have said anything that I thought was crazy to you. Switching gears, as a creative, which skill are you most proud of? I think in season 1 I asked this question, and Courtney J, which is one of my mom's favorite guests, Courtney J said her writing, and I think I agreed with her. You know, I would be willing to give up being this pretty if I could hold on to being able to write. That's it for me as an artist. What is it for you? What's the one skill you gotta hold on to?
Being honest with my situations, with my experience, being honest and open, and allowing the world to come in, because it took a long time for me to even look in the mirror and say to myself, yo, this what happened, what you gonna do with it?
Yeah.
So the fact that I can put it out there in the world, writing, musically, my spoken word, however I choose to throw it out there, is all through my art. My experience is all through my art. And the fact that I can be honest with myself and share it to the world, that's what I hold on to the most.
Honesty is the best thing about art, right?
It's everything.
It's liberating.
Everything.
Yeah.
Because it's like you go through all these things and you can put it in film, you can put it in a book, and so many people can be touched by it. So many people can be moved, and it's like, that's power.
It's supposed to move you.
Exactly.
I've said it so many times. If I hear a song and it doesn't evoke an emotion, I don't care. I don't want it. Like, it's supposed to make me feel something.
And that's the same with people as well.
Yeah.
You
No,
can feel it.
you're right. You're right. Are you hard on yourself?
Very.
I hear it. I wish I hadn't written the question. I mean,
Very
you
hard
already
on
answered
myself.
it. Yeah.
I'm very hard on myself.
In which ways?
Just, I'm an overthinker.
Okay.
That's one of my flaws I have in myself.
Is that a flaw though? It depends on how you think about yourself.
I mean, that's the crazy part that I can't understand. Like, I'm confident in who I am, and I can be authentic, but then I still have that piece of me that be like, yeah, is that it? Like something simple as this sock. I didn't know if I wanted to wear this sock. Like, I'm just saying.
It works out though.
You know?
That was a good choice.
No, but yeah, that's one of the things that's just like, I'm hard on myself.
Can I say that sitting with you, it's so nice because the person that I interviewed the week prior was a fashion model, stunning. And I asked her if she had any insecurities, and before I got ease out, she said yes. And I don't know why I keep expecting these incredibly beautiful human beings to come sit up here and say, I've got it all together, I'm perfect, I'm centered. We're humans, we're people, and it's really nice. Like it's like a sip of K2O water to realize that, you know, people are that authentic. You know, I was very nervous about throwing myself into the entertainment world, and I know that I won't always interview such great people, but this is where all the narcissists reside, in the entertainment world. And so I was not looking forward to that piece, but so far I've been really blessed, and I will say I've made the selection of who I've interviewed. I've handpicked a lot of my interviews. There have been people that have reached out to me, but primarily I've chosen these individuals based on how they've moved in the city, what their fingerprint, their thumbprint is, and really just their spirit.
Correct.
Their spirit.
And that goes back to when we met in 2019.
Yo, okay.
For real.
When I met you, we took some picture. It was me, you, Tedrian. Is Tedrian still mad at me?
T-Dream. I don't
T-Dream?
know. What's he mad for?
Me and him got into some sort of like a Facebook war. I said something, he said something.
Was it about the spirituality?
It might have been.
It had to be.
It might have been.
Yeah, but it's him and then Corday.
And Corday Gomes, shout out
Shout out to
Corday.
Corday.
Oh, beautiful. He's got one of the most beautiful faces I've ever seen. Corday was going to be one of my models when I had my clothing line, Goddess Clothing, back in the day, and that just wasn't what God wanted for me. He wanted me in front of and behind the camera.
But that's what I'm saying. When we first met,
It was the vibe.
it was. And
I
then,
followed him all around. I took as many pictures of him, with him as I could. When
Same.
how many times did I post that same picture and just use a different caption?
Okay.
I posted that picture in my story and on my feed as many times as I possibly could have.
But that's what I'm saying. I appreciate you because a lot of times I go to these networking events or see opportunities to where I can meet people
Yeah.
and grow as an individual and learn. And you get the take my information and blase, and then time go on and you be like, okay, where you at?
Yeah.
I mean, everything that supposed to happen right then, like here we are, 2 years in, and now we're in this moment. But a lot of times, a lot of people don't even get there.
Yeah.
They just talk and be whatever. So.
Those might not be true journalists. I am a true journalist.
Mm-hmm.
I take this very seriously. It isn't just interviewing people. I'm looking for the story. In fact, I got you to pull out more today than I intended to get on camera. So that could be the difference. You might have just been meeting people who were looking for a little bit of clout. Might have been.
I'm asking what I was looking for. I'm just appreciating you for being you. That's it. I love it.
What do you work on as a man? What's the habit? And I know that you've got a really good answer for this. What is the habit or demon that you constantly fight to keep at bay?
Keep at the forefront.
Keep down.
Oh,
Don't bring
keep
that
away.
mug to the
Oh, okay, keep
forefront.
them
No,
away.
keep that mug down. Yeah. What's that? For someone who is admittedly hard on himself? What do you get up every day and say, nah, Satan, not today?
Fear.
Facts.
I mean, as simple as it is, it's exactly what it is. It's fear. That go back to just overthinking, like.
Yeah.
But I've learned there's no such thing as fear. So I'm working towards it.
No such thing as
no
fear.
such thing as fear. But that's one of the things for.
God has not given us a spirit of fear, but of power, love, and a sound mind. Right?
That's right.
When we return, we will discuss Trey's past success, what he's working on now, and what he's got upcoming for 2021 when we come back.
MsMedia, brought to you by Bandwagon Radio and the On Channel, where entertainment news, current events, and much more is corresponded for the masses. Not only can you hear her, you can watch this beauty weekly on Mondays with MsMedia.
Trey, what are your self-care practices? Now, I know you get professional haircuts because your barber was in my DM this morning.
Oh, for what? Because I posted you? Oh, Lord Jesus. I ain't gonna say his name.
I didn't say his name either.
Oh my God.
What else do you do, to keep yourself? Because when you came in my dressing room, I was like, okay, I'm gonna need to make sure that I come out here looking lit because this man is so beautiful. What do you do to stay so beautiful?
Drink my water, mind my business.
You're doing more than drinking some water.
I don't really have any skin routines.
Really?
No.
That's just McElwain skin.
That's love skin. We don't do the McElwain, so I don't know what that is. But no, for self-care, it's not pretty much like getting myself pretty. It's just getting myself in tune with myself.
What do you do? Yeah.
So-
Most of my self-care isn't getting me pretty.
Correct.
Yeah.
It's not that. It's just taking time to yourself. So it's okay to turn your phone off. Don't talk to me. I need this moment. I need this day. But of course, there's ways to go about it
Yeah.
to make it not seem
So you don't stop your money.
exactly that part. But yeah, just being in tune with myself.
Yeah.
Writing in a journal. I like to write. I have a lot of books.
Yeah.
People around me who care for me, they buy me books because they know I love books. So using self-care books, taking time to just meditate, listen to music.
I want to get into meditation,
Mm-hmm.
but my mind won't shut up long enough to do it. It's like the oxymoron.
What are you doing? What are you listening to?
What am I listening to? The world?
Okay.
I've got things to do next week. I have to edit an episode. I have to interview a person. I'm chasing a story. I have my child. I might go on a date.
Mm-hmm.
How can I meditate?
All the things that you love is
Yeah.
right there, but that's where you have to take that time and that self-care moment for yourself.
Yeah.
And it's okay to be selfish with it. A lot of times you don't want to do it because
Yeah.
you feel selfish, but
Yes.
it's at least give yourself an hour, if
Okay.
at all, an
Okay.
hour to do something for you.
How do you turn your mind off long enough for it to be effective?
That's a good question, because I've realized that recently it takes me being upset with someone to get me in the mind to take care of myself.
That's fair, because from an artistic standpoint, I don't do a lot of writing until I feel it. And I get damn near depressed.
Correct.
In order to produce what I have to produce. I know this narcissism series, I mean, it's taking me on an emotional roller coaster because I know people who have been negatively affected by it. And I go there, I have to, in order, to produce it and when I'm doing the research. So I get that. Do you have any career regrets? Anything you did, like, was there a photo shoot that you look back and you're like,
Actually, yes.
Yeah?
There is. I did this this runway 2 years in a row.
Yes, runway.
And this is where I guess I was in my who really am I? Like, what spectrum of femininity am I going to identify?
Okay.
So I had this moment to just
What
be.
did you have on?
Just to be.
What did you have on?
I walked that runway and I let the crowd saying, "Oh, you're the gay male, so be the gay male." So I never wore heels before, but I put them on. I knew how to walk instantly. So needless to say, I walked in the runway with heels on, a wedding gown, a whole thing. But it was like a whole.
What's his name? Bobby something. I can't remember. Billy Porter.
Yes, Billy Porter.
Were you flyer than Billy Porter? Do you remember that fit Billy Porter had on a couple seasons ago? The black was a black, may have been a two-piece pants and dress set.
Yes.
Were you comparable to that level of fly? Because if not, I ain't here for it.
I mean, it was fly, but it was more flamboyant than what more feminine than what he.
Got you.
presented.
So you.
But that wasn't who I was. But I still did it.
You tried it.
Underneath the fact that, okay, there's the opportunity to do that, so let me do it, and then I'm doing it well, because if you're in that space, you have a reason to be in that space.
Yeah.
So if I'm the one that's be presented with put these heels on, what I'm going to do, I'm going to get the best me I can be.
You're there.
Okay.
You booked the
Because
job.
Oprah always said,
you booked the job.
Oprah said, if
Yeah.
you do something, do it well, because then you'll be noticed.
Facts.
So
Super facts.
if you're going to do it, do it.
Super facts.
So regret photo, pictures haunting.
I do have a final question for you before we get into the projects that you have working on. Do you have any kids? Do you have any children? Any baby loves? You got any baby loves? You got any baby loves anywhere?
So I do. I am a dog dad.
A dog dad? Get
I
off
have
my
a
set.
daughter.
Boy, nobody asked you about no dogs.
She's
I'm talking about some
5.
babies.
But that's sensitive to me, because back in high school I was going to be a father.
You were going to be a dad?
I was gonna be a
What
dad.
happened?
So I feel like her mom made her get an abortion, but she tells me she fell down the steps. I was a junior. I know in that time I wasn't ready to be a father, but I am so ready to be a dad. And I've been talking about this with my close friends and people around me for years. Like, I want to be a dad. Not only for the fact that my father wasn't there, I just want to be a father for someone, and I want to leave something behind.
Yeah.
And I want to be a dad forever.
How old are you?
I'm 29. I'll be 30 this year.
Okay, so I'll be 40.
I turned 29 last year, July 8th.
So you'll be 30
I'll
this
be
year.
30 this year, yes.
Okay. I will be 36 on the 15th of this month, okay? Like I said, I've been engaged a couple times, so I'm not desperate to get married. If I have not gotten married by the time I'm 40 and have not adopted a little girl, I think you and I should have a conversation.
Okay, but that's
But
what, 3 years?
you have to make me a promise.
What's that?
You got to go work on yourself emotionally first.
Okay.
Finish that healing. That way, if we decide you're going to give me a baby love, that pretty little girl is everything she needs to be, right? Because I don't need her just to be pretty, because I already know she's going to be pretty,
All right.
But I want to make sure that she is entire. You make that deal for me?
That's right.
Perfect.
I appreciate that.
Yes, sir. Thank you for tuning in with me today, Celeste Mose, MsMedia. Make sure you come back next week where I will be interviewing Jada the Don. I'll also have a secret guest person that I'll be interviewing. I am so excited about this. So keep in mind, 2 guests next week, 1 you know, 1 you don't. Until next week, let me leave you with this. Creativity is giving yourself space to make mistakes. Art is knowing which ones to keep. Scott Adams, MsMedia.